And Zulma Gonzalez, this mic is all yours. And you are muted.
All right, here we go. Thankful Thursday to each and every only one of us. Only one. Grateful. It reminds me that I'm never alone. It reminds me that I am never alone, can't possibly be alone. So thankful that I can't be alone. This morning, I'm thankful that there's such a thing as Geek Squad because my computer, which is not where I am right now, has somehow gone into airplane mode and it's grayed out. So I can't take it off of airplane mode. And I spent lots of time going online and doing everything that they said to do. I went into the registry and all that. It said change the 0 to a 1. No, it said change the 1 to a 0. Well, it was already on 0. So that wasn't it. Whatever it is, the Geek Squad is going to have to handle it. Now, I'm going to make an attempt to share my screen. Let's see if it lets me. I'm going to try. If it does, okay. If it doesn't, okay. Let's see. Let's go here. Yeah, so it's just been very interesting with this computer. It's been a good week. It's not showing me what I want. It is absolutely not showing me what I want. All right, let's try again. Yeah, it's been a good week. Just the regular stuff's been going on. I'm learning more and more about everything. I'm learning more about life. I'm reminded in every moment that that I am here only to be truly helpful. I am here to remember that all things are lessons that God would have me learn, that all things are lessons that God would have me learn. Oh my gosh, to remember that my worth is not established by what I do or what I don't do, what I accomplish or what I don't accomplish, that my worth is established by my creator. And nope, won't let me do it. Okay, let's try that again. Um, Interesting. I wonder why. Anyway, this is so much fun. It says share, and I go to share. All right, it says, let's try this. It says share screen. Let's try. Start recording or casting with Zoom. All right, yeah, why not? So let's see if this works. I have no idea. It's doing its own thing from the tablet. And because of all of the confusion attempting this morning, I didn't have a chance. I went into my own Zoom account, but didn't know all that I know right now. Oh, look at all this stuff. So can you see my screen by chance? I hear no comment. Okay. All right. Anyway. So as I said, it's been a good week. It's been an interesting week. It's been a learning week. And it appears that we are going to have to do this without slides today. And so it is. Although it keeps giving me areas to share from. It says I can share. And the only thing that I have on the screen is the, let's see. Let's try this. Let's try it one more time. One more time. And if not, then, oh well. It's saying recording or casting. And I hit yes. But what's coming up is not what I'm attempting to share. So, yeah, my files. My files. How about PowerPoint? It's not working. Okay. So I don't care. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. And I'm back. This is insane. All right. And I switched to gallery view. I have I cannot share my screen. So we'll have to do it again, like we did it last week, plus or minus a little bit more. We're reminded first that we are studying A Course in Miracles, Meet Science of Mind, and other metaphysical teachings, and they are many. And the reminder that the kingdom of heaven is within you, and whoever shall know himself shall find it. Today, the power quotes are first from The Science of Mind, from Ernest Holmes. The greater the consciousness of God, the more complete must be the realization of the true self, the divine reality. And from the Course, the habit of engaging with God and his creations is easily made if you actively refuse to let your mind slip away. And let me say good morning to Glorian and Mickey and Paz en cada aliento, mucho gusto. Sharon, Dove, and Lynn, so glad you're here. And preparing to take my computer to Geek Squad after this. So my goal is just to get through this one today. A couple of our quotes. We should daily train our thoughts to recognize the spirit in everything we do, say, or think. There is no other way. To try any other way would be to make a complete failure. To learn how to think is to learn how to live. Those are quotes by Dr. Ernest Holmes from the Course. This is a course in mind training. All learning involves attention and study at some level, because an untrained mind can accomplish nothing. An untrained mind, I think I mentioned this last week that I'm looking to step away from a study group that I have been participating in for a couple of years now. because it's evident to me that the majority of the people in the group read the course, and they may even study the course, but they're not practicing the course. And for me, that feels like, and this is going to sound arrogant, but I don't mean it that way. What's the expression? If you're the smartest person in your group, you need a new group. I'm not talking about smart in that sense, but it's when it comes to being with and around students of the metaphysical teachings, it is for my learning and for my growth to be with people who are also studying and practicing, not just studying, but practicing, because the words that come out of their mouths are not elevating me. I'm not feeling, I'm so glad I was there today. I'm not feeling that. I'm not feeling that at all. Quite the contrary, actually. So it's very possible that very soon, I will be stepping away from that group. Anyway, that's not a complaint. That's not a criticism. That's not gossip. It's just the facts. It's actually another way of me saying that I am so very grateful for this group. Those of you that are here with me, those of you that I know that I can pick up a phone or send a text message, and I do, when I need some insight, or when I'm not feeling my best, because the last thing I need is for somebody to, do the "oh, poor you" thing. That's the last thing I need. Grateful though, grateful for just the love. Thank you, family, for being who you are. So Dr. William Walker Atkinson says that the mental pattern must always precede the material form. The Course says that all thinking produces form at some level. All thinking produces form at some level. And Dr. Ernest says that thoughts and things are but two ends of the same proposition. That since it is impossible to stop thinking, we cannot stop creating. Our choice is whether we shall create constructively or make destructively, which reminds me of miracle principle number 12, that miracles are thoughts and that they can express either bodily level or spiritual level. And at bodily level, they're making destructively, and at spiritual level, they're creating constructively, because at the spiritual level, we are recognizing our oneness with the all. We're recognizing our oneness with God, recognizing our worth, and acting accordingly as to the best of our ability. We are creating, we are extending, we are sharing willingly our love. Joe Goldsmith says it is we train ourselves to have some area in consciousness always active in truth. That's engaging with God. And he says that it is the mind that keeps itself stayed on God. It is with the mind that we think spiritual thoughts. And very key to moving about during the course of a day, because we see things and we hear things that we know. Our senses get involved with things. We see it, we hear it, we smell it, we taste it, we touch it. And in the moment, we think, oh, this is the real thing. This is it. This is permanent. And then we complain about it, and we criticize it, and we just have bad things to say about it. And that is not living in the spirit. That is not focusing on God, that is not keeping our mind stayed on God. It is not, as in the Bible, it talks about being single-minded, keeping your eyes single, staying, engaging, the Course says, engaging, guarding our thoughts. So the Course reminds us to begin each day with time devoted to the preparation of your mind, to learn what each idea you will review that day can offer you in freedom and in peace. Is not the goal freedom? Is not the goal peace? It is freedom. It is our own salvation that we continually seek, by accepting the atonement for ourselves. I have to step away. I'm getting a little warmer than I want to be. Turn that off. Okay. Because I don't feel like taking off clothes today for you. I don't feel like doing that. So that I'm not going to do. Oh, did I just put my finger over something? Oh, I see. Okay. I'm on the tablet, so anything is possible. And I may end up taking something off because I'm overheated. In the Bible, we're asked, if ye know these things, happy are ye if you do them, which goes back to, you can read all you want. You can study all you want. But if you know these things, happy are ye if you do them. It's about the doing, not just the, I'm going to turn the screen off for a moment. It's about the doing. It's not just about the knowing. What we do comes from what we think. What we feel comes from what we think. So first we think it, and then we feel it, and then we do it, or not. What we do comes from what we think. So if we don't choose to, in the Bible, there's a passage that reads, it says, be a doer of the word and not just a hearer, not just one who hears. It says, the person who is a doer of the word, rather, the person who is only a hearer of the word is like one who looks in the mirror and then walks away and forgets what they look like. Forgets how they look. So it's asking us continually to be a doer of the word. That is how our new habits are formed. That's become the lesson for me. I'm being taught how to create routines. I'm not happy. I asked for it, but I'm not happy. But in the Course, it says, in the section on the about means and ends, it says, you want the end, but you're not willing to do the means. If that's the case, then just admit that you're inconsistent. Well, that has been part of my problem, inconsistency, and a problem that I am now working on resolving and solving. From Science of Mind, Dr. Ernest says the only way to know God is to be like God. And while this may seem discouraging in our present state of evolution, we should remember that we have but started on an eternal ladder that ever spirals upward. This was that was a quote that I first presented here back on December 7th of last year. Month after I started doing this, A Course in Miracles meets Science of Mind. And the other quote is, do not hesitate to know that you can heal. You can if you know that you can, and not until then. Again, our thoughts are the determining factor, and tolerance for pain may be high, the Course reminds us, but it's not without limit. Tolerance for pain may be high, but it's not without limit. Eventually, we come to a place where we realize that there must be a better way. And it's then that we follow spiritual thinking rather than the bodily thoughts, that we follow spirit rather than ego. All right, now I just saw Dove wrote something in the chat. I have to figure out how to get to it. All right, here we go. Yes. I'm saying hypocrisy. Uh-huh. That's saying, you're saying one thing, but you're doing another. and then and that was from Gloria. And then Lynn wrote authentic question. Yes, absolutely. Hypocrita. We don't have to. I can talk all the talk I want. I could talk all the talk I want, but ultimately, it's going to show. Even if I just sit right here and just talk, eventually you'll say, you know what, Zulma's, I don't know. I called her because I had something I want to discuss, and she answered the phone. Yeah, what do you want? Yeah, what do you want? Um, hmm, didn't sound like, didn't sound like light and peace and joy were abiding in her in the moment. Oh gosh. Uh, and yeah, Lynn reminds us that, you know, if I'm needed, an example of how to really get the course is I'm there here for a reason. Absolutely. Absolutely. And yes, Dove, if you know you can heal, then you can heal. Because what it says is bondage and freedom. That was the next sentence. Don't hesitate to know that you can heal. Because the truth is that we're already healed. It's the same, the same, it's the law of liberty. It's that law of liberty that we misuse and we turn it into a law of bondage. It says here, do not hesitate to know that you can heal. You can if you know that you can, and not until then. Because until then, I think, I'm going to speak in first person, and if it applies to you, well, then, grab it. But I think, oh, this I have a problem. Oh, it can't be solved. Oh, things are terrible. Oh, my life is a mess. Oh, those people over there are acting in a way that's not right. That's not right. They're not acting the way I think they should. Oh, it's just, just one misery, just misery after another. Until I recognize, accept the atonement for myself, until I'm willing and ready to undo that way of thinking, I until I'm ready to do that, I will think that I can't be healed. I will think that, first of all, I will think that there's something wrong with me. I will think that, life is, it's just, oh, so pitiful. I have to be willing to see the truth for what it is. And when I do, all that stuff falls off. Instant salvation. It's like, oh, you mean to tell me that I've been, leaning against this door because I was told that it was the hardest? I think this was a what's his name? Houdini. Um, uh, it was supposed to be that story had it that he was told that this door he was put in, it was the hardest thing he would ever be able to escape from, and he was doing all kind of things with the lock and all kind of stuff, and then finally he became so exhausted from trying the impossible that he just fell against the door and it opened. It was never locked. It was never locked. We have never been, I have never been, we have never been and could never be separate from God. On the outside, we think that we're on the outside looking in, but we're already in. We're in. I'll read the board. So, and Dove said, yeah, right. We are already healed. We are changeless because eternal doesn't change. That's exactly right. We are spirit. We are spirit. We are spirit. And Glorian reminds us that we do not know what anything is for. All things are lessons life would have me learn. when I when I hear people, you know, those out there, when I'm in position to hear the thoughts of others complaining about everything, what's going on out there. I I know a person who will talk about what's going right with them, and they always end their sentence talking about um what's wrong. I mean, how do I explain that? They'll say, "Oh, people have really been treating me well lately. Not like before when people used to, you know what I mean." And they would go into that every time. And I have to admit that I can't, I don't um, say anything to that. I have in the past because I was asked to. Let me know if I do that, is what I was said to me. Okay. And then if I did, hold it, moment, something like that, I'll say right there, or, then they want to justify it. So I realized that my teaching has to be by example and not in words, as far as um, this person who asked for it and chooses not to accept it because they are living in that bondage state. So the rest of that sentence, the rest of that passages, bondage and freedom are but the two possibilities of our use of the law. That's the law of liberty. Let us affirm freedom. Let us affirm freedom, not bondage. And that law is the law of mind. Of course, what you project or extend is up to you, but you must do one or the other, for that is a law of mind, and you must look in before you look out. Oh, but I want to finish reading the screen before I continue with that. So after Gloria said, we don't know anything is Lord for, Dove reminds us all the time that you gotta laugh. And oh, I do. Oh, Dove, you have no idea. And sometimes when I start laughing, I think of you. There's a one of our practitioners, Callista. She always says, and remember to giggle, smile, and have a belly laugh. And she says it all the time. She reminds us that we are loved, loved, and lovable. That's the order in which she says it. But you gotta laugh. You just gotta laugh. And Gloria reminds us that we turn to spirit and ask for direction, not just shoot off at the mouth, not just go back in time about what happened before and this, that, because I'm going to bring that up. That's been on my mind. I'm not going to go into a whole lot of detail with it, but I'm going to do that. And then I'm going to read today from a book that I have found, I'm finding very interesting, phenomenally helpful and useful. It's called Thinking for Results. It is by Christian D. Larson. Well, I'll get to that. I'll explain. I'll give you all that when I get there. You all right, baby boy? You okay? Yeah. Yeah. All right. Um, so yeah, so what you project or extend is up to you. Oh, wait. Dove, Dove wrote, I took it seriously that I was demented. Yes. Oh my God. You know my story. The day I walked into Dr. Collins's office back in 1992. And the first thing I said to him, I think I'm crazy. I'm going crazy. That's the first thing after hello, how are you? I think I'm crazy. I'm acting really strangely, this, that, and the other. I took it seriously that I was demented. He said to me after a couple of the things, he said, let me assure you first, you're not crazy. And he said, this is a paraphrase from the Course, you have been given a lot of misinformation that you have chosen to believe. That's what Dr. Winston Collins said to me. And I have to mention his name, and I've mentioned it more than once because he was not a student of the course, but clearly the teachings of the course were part of his life, a part of his life, the way he lives, the way he thinks, the way he teaches. Absolutely. Those teachings. What's the matter? Yeah? What's the matter, baby boy? You all right? Yeah? Okay. I don't know, something's going on with my baby boy. Um, and the question, what do I do? Where do I go? What do I say? And to who? Well, if on Sunday, this past Sunday, Reverend Twana Malone, my senior minister at the Center of Peace in Philadelphia, she in her message, she kept saying, she continued, where? God. How? God. Who? God. And she just kept saying that over and over. God. Where? God. Who? God. How? God. She just kept, and and that's the answer. That's always the answer. What do I do? I do what God would have me do. I do God. The only way to know God is to be like God. Huh, huh, huh. What do I do? What would God, if I could, that whole what would Jesus do thing? What would God do? Where do I go? I go to God. What do I say? I say what God would have me say. And to who? I am here only to be truly helpful. I'm here. I don't have to worry about what to say or what to do because he who sent me will direct me. I don't have to worry about what to say or what to do because he who sent me will direct me. I will be given all the direction I need. I will be the words to say will be given me if I just take time to be still. I wear a bracelet. I never take it off. It says be still and know. Be still and know. I don't have to worry. And trust me, more and more, it's to the point now where when I feel a feeling, I used to say spirit. Sometimes I do. Sometimes I just say God. That's God. That's God. That's God. This is my catchwords. That's God. Oh, that's God. Saw a terrible accident. Saw an accident, a car accident that, on the news yesterday. That's God. I had to right there because the first thing is it starts crawling into my skin. That's God. So I can bring myself back because this stuff it locks itself in our bodies, which is interesting. That's an interesting thing too. Um, yes, and Jeff wrote that what Dr. Collins said sounds like today's election is as Kamala says, there's a lot of disinformation, and Dr. Collins says misinformation, same thing. It's just that, and the problem isn't the misinformation or the disinformation. The problem is that I choose to take it in. I choose to accept it as true. That's where the problem comes in. My doggy has an itch and he's scratching, and I'm watching him scratch. And I can't do anything about that right now, but I certainly will. What's the matter, you? Huh? What's the matter, you? Want to put some water on it for that? I can wipe it for you. Where's your
Zulma,
washcloth?
I love that you call your dog lovable. I think that's the cutest name. I had to say it.
Well, you have to consider, Sharon. This baby boy, he found me. He found me walking down the street, and with eyes that hit, well, I burst into tears. I mean, I remember my baby girl was with me, and she said to herself, "Is she crying?" I couldn't stop. Come here, come here. I couldn't stop. And then when I went to the vet and looked, and because they said, well, "What's his name?" And I just looked. I said, "I don't know, dog." Right? That's what I said. And then I looked at him, and I'm looking in his eyes, and I said, "Doesn't he look so lovable?" And there we go, right there. Call him lovable, right, baby boy? Right? Come here, come here. Let's see what's going on here. There we go. Mm-hmm. There we go. Feel better? Okay. All right. But yeah, so it's really about the information that we choose to accept, that we choose to believe, that we choose to hold on to, and it reflects in what we say and what we do, and people they either are drawn to us or they're repelled by us. Oh, that's something to pay attention to. Those people that are repelled by us, don't if that seems to happen more often, more than once, more than twice, more than a half dozen times, you might want to, again, as the very first thing I read about looking in rather than looking out, because there's something happening that we may not be aware of, that we're letting our light get dim, that we're putting obstacles in the way, blocks. We're blocking our love with some of the stuff that we're saying, some of the stuff that we're doing. Whatever you alone make is real in your sight, though not in the mind of God. That's I was still reading about the law of mind. There are no laws but God's. To this law, there is neither great nor small. It is always responding to us by corresponding with our mental attitude toward it. Our mental attitudes can be consciously controlled. Therefore, we can always make conscious use of the law of good. And the law of good is the law of God. Always, 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 always. I had another quote. And I don't know where I put it. So only remember, we are surrounded by a universal subjectivity that is receptive, neutral, impersonal, always receiving the impress of our thoughts, and that has no alternative other than to operate directly upon it, thus creating the things that we think, which goes back to there are no idle thoughts. The Course teaches all thinking produces form at some level. And the reminder that the world you see is what you gave it. Nothing more than that. I'm leading somewhere with this. At least I think I am. But though it is no more than that, it is not less. Therefore, it is important to you. It is the witness to your state of mind. So all this stuff that I'm talking about and what's happening out there and who's acting this way and who treated me that way. Oh gosh, boy, have I got stories for you about all the things that happened to me and why I'm the way I am today. All that is the witness to my state of mind. The outside picture of an inward condition. And Dr. Holmes said, the impress of our thought and has no alternative other than to operate directly upon it, thus creating the things that we think. Saying the same thing. And that's from his 360. These two quotes by Ernest Holmes were from the 365 Science of Mind, a year of daily wisdom. He has one of those yearly books. He has a couple of them actually, but this one. And it's saying, absolutely the same thing, that we are constantly acting based on what we think. And I heard a woman in her book talk about, well, actually, she was just talking about Dr. Michelle Wadley. Reverend Dr. Michelle Wadley was talking about in her book Forgiveness, which is out of print. I can't believe it's out of print. Anyway, you have to go really hunt for it to find it. It's pretty darn good. It's pretty darn good with exercises and everything. She says, don't criticize, don't complain, and don't gossip. And I was thinking about that this morning. Talk about the past only if it's something that feels good. This is me now talking. Talk about the past only if it's something that feels good. All that stuff that, we say happened, and, these things that happened, and how somebody, did me wrong, and all that. Talk about the past only if it's something that feels good. There's no room. There's no room for the good, the clean, the pure, the powerful, and the positive, as Zig Ziglar used to say. There's no room for that to get in and stay in if we're constantly blocking it with what, all the bad stuff that used to be. And the Course, and one of my favorite sections of the Course, it says that all your past except its beauty is gone. All your past except its beauty is gone. And nothing is left but a blessing. So speak in blessings. Speak about the lesson that came from it, not the thing that happened and who treated me this way, and what circumstances I came into, and that, family member who, used to do this, that, and no. Because the next one is talk about everyone only in a positive light. But let me go back. Let me finish with this one. Talk about the past as only if it's something that feels good. So there's no room. And I have to tell you, as I was saying this, things, I was going to give examples. I thought, well, no, I'm not giving examples. Because I can't let it go as long as I keep holding on to it. I can't let go of the things that I let cause me pain, that I thought were the reason for my pain. I thought those things and those people were the reason for my pain. But the fact is, it was my thoughts alone. My thoughts alone. That's the only thing that can hurt me. I can be hurt only but my thoughts. I'm not saying that right, but it's one of the workbook lessons. Recent. But and there's another one. Only my thoughts can injure me. Only my thoughts can injure me. Nothing outside. So I don't want to hear from me about the things that somebody said or somebody did. I don't want to hear from you either. But the things that somebody said and what somebody used to do, and how somebody used to treat me, and the circumstances that they're the reason that I'm this way today. Because I can heal, going back to the quote, if I believe I can. But if I keep talking about the stuff that I believed was causing me the pain in the first place, I am still believing that those things are causing the pain that I'm still in. I'm not really willing to let it go. All your past except its beauty is gone. And nothing is left but a blessing. All your past, all of it. All the stuff that we journaled about, the stuff I journaled about, and what this one said, and what this one did, and how this one didn't act, and how this one should have acted, and how this one didn't give me love, didn't show me love, and how this one, all those this ones, they're not there. They're not even there. I'm never upset for the reasons I think. I'm upset because I'm seeing something that's not there. I'm seeing only the past. So if I'm going to talk about the past, I'm going to remember that all my past except its beauty is gone. And nothing is left but a blessing. So if I must talk about the past, if I could just start my sentences, and the beautiful thing about that situation is, without going to the situation, the beautiful thing about a situation from my past is, and then just talk about the beautiful situation, not all the things that led up to it. You save that for your therapy appointments. And he's like, as best possible. Although this is a good place for this is a good place for therapy, but not the same stuff every day, not the same stuff every week, not over and over and over again. Because when am I going to let that stuff go? When am I going to let go of what's already gone? The course asks. Let go of what's already gone. Holding on to what? Talk about the past only if it's something that feels good. Because, as the course teaches, all your past except its beauty is gone and nothing is left but a blessing. Talk about everyone. This is a challenge today, baby. Talk about everyone only in a positive light. Everyone. The one you think did you wrong. The candidate you don't want to vote that you don't want. The family member that the person, whatever. Talk about everyone only in a positive light. That equates to Reverend Michelle talking about don't gossip. Even if you know the people that aren't living, you say, well, it's not gossip because they've already left the physical plane. No, it's still gossip. Because I wouldn't have known that so-called bad thing about that person if you hadn't brought it up. I don't know if you want me to feel sorry for you because somebody did something to you, that you say something, you think that somebody did something to you, and therefore you're acting this way because of that. Because now you're blaming somebody else for your actions. You're blaming somebody else for your thoughts. You're blaming somebody else for your feelings. Well, when are you going to take responsibility for your own stuff? I am responsible for what I see. I am responsible. I am response-able. I am able to respond differently. Because all that other stuff, it seems to happen. It seems to be. It seems that person did this. It seems that person said that. It seems that person treated me that way. It seems that person that their illness caused my illness. It seems that way. No. It's not necessary that I be a cussing, fussing person. And I'm just using that as an example. That's not a judgment. But I don't have to be a cussing, fussing person because a family member of mine was a cussing, fussing person. I don't have to be withdrawn or depressed or whatever things don't make me feel good because somebody else used to be that way. A family member used to be that way. My best friends used to be that way. I don't have to be, here's one. I don't have to, no, that doesn't apply to me. I don't have to dislike white boys because when I was a teenager, when I would go to the swimming pool, I would get chased to the pool by the white boys. I don't have to do that. And I pulled up a so-called real example. I don't do that. I don't have to do that. I ended up teaching school, and I taught different children, and they were all equally pleasant or mischievous or eager to learn, all of them. And I didn't take this group and sit them over there, that group and sit them over. No. All of my past, except its beauty, is gone, and nothing is left but a blessing. But I wanted to bring that up as a real example, so-called example of a period of time that doesn't exist anymore. But I had to go deep for that one. The fun part of that is that the same children that would chase me to the pool were the same children that I swam with in the pool. And finally, like, no point, we're all going to the aquarium. We're all going there. But the past, there is no past. There is no past. The Course reminds us over and over, let it go, for it is already gone. Let it go. Let it go. It was the last song that I asked Linda play last week from Karen Drucker. When things are just too much and you're holding on so tight, you want to just relax, give up without a fight, long to feel that sweet release, just turn within and pray. I'm gonna pause right there. Turn within and call and call unto your God. Turn within and remember what you are in truth. And I mean, the second it hits, if you can, because we still do need to look at those things in front of what the lesson is. But I don't have to let go in such a way that I don't have to blow up and thinking, oh, I really ought not to go here, and then go anyway. Would I want to hear? Would you want to hear what's coming out of your mouth from me? Would you want to hear that? Does it sound like complaining? Does it sound like criticizing? Because that's my third one. Oh, talk about everyone only in a positive light. And the passage from the Course, you cannot perpetuate an illusion about another without perpetuating it about yourself. Because it's not that person or those people or that situation that I'm hearing right now. I'm hearing you, or you're hearing me. I'm still holding on to nothing. And I'm letting my thoughts injure me. I'm letting my thoughts injure me. And it's not necessary. It's not necessary. There's no rhyme nor reason. If I'm remembering that I am spirit, I am God in form, I and the Father are one. I am a gift to the world. Light and peace and joy abide in me. Light and peace and joy are me. So if I want to talk about the past, only if it's something that feels good, I'm going to talk about myself in the past. Only if it's something that feels good. Talking about everyone only in a positive light means talking about myself in a positive light. Oh, I'm included in that. Not just everybody out there, so-called out there. Talking about myself only in a positive light. And if you remember, when I did the day I did the presentation on ADHD, I said, and I still say, and people, they're like, oh, I love that, I'm going to use that. Accepting divine healing daily. ADHD, accepting divine healing daily. And the fun part of that is I have been finding podcasts and articles that talk about the positive side of ADHD. And there is creativity, being able to come up with things like that. Sometimes a lot of things come, and have to slow it down. But the ability to do that, sense of humor. I mean, some of the things that I'm like, oh yeah, I got that. Uh-huh. Oh yeah, I like that about me. And sometimes it's not even intentional, and it just comes out. And I used to think, because I used to not think of myself in a positive light. Oh, I'm quirky. I'm quirky. I'm different from other people. Oh, thank God for me being able to recognize my unique way of expressing God, my unique way of demonstrating God. That I'm given this platform right here, right here. I remember for years talking about, I wanted to do a workshop. Oh, it was going to be a couple of weeks on A Course in Miracles Meet Science of Mind. And now since November, not only Science of Mind, but other metaphysical teachings, and how comfortable it is for those of you who choose to be here with me, how comfortable it is for me who choose to be here with you, to be able to do this, to live it, because I'm teaching myself. Earlier this week, I actually went to one of my old presentations and just clicked it. And I don't remember saying that. Thank you, God, for teaching me to teach myself, for giving me the opportunity to let the Spirit run my life, to let the Spirit move through me, and then to be able to come back and listen and take notes. Because, all this stuff, you see, I don't have any notes in front of me right now. I keep slides, a couple of, points, but Spirit is just moving right along. This brings me back to Dove. I have to thank Dove again and again and again. From back 2007, I think that's when I first started teaching, at least according to some of the, I still have the notes of all these quotes from the course that I would use. And I would read a passage, and I would have a sentence or two. Then I would read a long passage, and I would have a sentence or two. And over time, I came to read less, or even if it's a long passage, but I had more to say. It's good to know the quotes from the course. I don't have to say it verbatim. It's not a copyrighted document anymore anyway. I don't have to say it verbatim. I can say, the only thing that hurts me are my thoughts. I can say that, which is the same as only my thoughts can injure me. I mean, it's a paraphrase of I don't have to say, but it doesn't even matter if I say it in a quote or if I say it in a paraphrase. What's my life look like? Am I being a hearer or a doer? Am I living in peace? Am I experiencing the freedom of spirit? Am I appreciating my brother? The course says it, only appreciation is an appropriate response. Give thanks for everything. No, give thanks in everything. And the Bible is written, in all things, give thanks. In all things, no matter what, give thanks. What's the lesson? What would God have me learn here? Because all things are lessons that God, life, spirit would have me learn. All things. Not how do I sit back and mope about it and be depressed about it and feel sorry for myself about it and worry about what somebody else is going to think about it. No, 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 no. What role am I playing in this? Dr. Collins said to me, if you recognize the role you played in this, you would realize that there was nothing to forgive. I thought the man was crazy. I thought he had been taking my money. That had been complaining for 5-6 weeks already. Just complaining, and my mama this, and my stepdaddy that, and the rapist this, and and all these things, all out there, all out there. But I was the one with all this pain. I was the one talking about how I felt. I was the one. It was me the whole time. If you realize what role you played in it, what role you play in it now, you'll realize that there is nothing to forgive. And then there's a sentence in the course, straight up, there is nothing to forgive. It's in there. That's right, Gloria. I am responsible for what I see. Spirit, help me see this differently. Absolutely. Help me see this differently. If I'm not seeing it in a way that only feels good, if I'm not seeing it in a way that I can find the beauty in it, if I'm not seeing it in a way that's not putting illusions in it, that's not putting fantasy in it, that's not making things up, that's not causing me pain, if I'm not seeing it that way, I'm not seeing it with God's eyes. I'm not seeing with God's eyes. I'm focusing on something that already happened that I think has not gone away, or I'm worrying about something I think is going to happen that's not even here. It's all made up. Right here and right now, I am spirit. Right here and right now, I am as God created me. Right here and right now, I am free. Oh, thank you. Right here and right now, I'm free. Right here, I'm seeing myself and everything around me in a positive light. Right here and right now, I am remembering that I am as God created me. Right here and right now, I am remembering that this is a lesson that God is having me learn right here, right now, right here and right now. And I'm grateful. I'm grateful. I'm grateful. the third thing I had written, the third and last that I had written, was to complain about no thing, nothing at all. Complain about no thing, nothing at all. And you might say, well, I'm not complaining. I heard it this way. I'm not complaining. I'm just explaining. No, doggone it. You're complaining. Shut up. At least that was my thought. Okay, I plead guilty. That was my thought. No, you are complaining. You are complaining. It sounds like, Charlie Brown's teacher, wah, 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 wah. And I heard it. You said it last week. You said it the week before. You've been saying it as long as I've known you, and you're still saying it, and you won't stop saying it. And you try to smooth it over with, yeah, but now I know better. Well, how many times will I have to hear, if you know better, then why are you still talking about what you didn't know before? Huh? Zulma? Why are you talking about what you I've got a prime example. I was looking through some old notebooks, years old, and talked about, it was about goals and stuff. And they were all about getting organized. All of them. Every single one. It's about getting organized, about, having my home look the way I wanted to look. Every single one. And finally, a few weeks ago, I made a decision to, because see, the answers come when they're supposed to. This whole ADHD thing, this had to show up for me to know that I'm talking about is just symptoms. They're just symptoms. I had to get to the root of it. And I'm working on that. And the root is still not the root, because at the root it's my thoughts. So they call these people cognitive behavioral therapists. You heard. Well, cognition is your thinking. And behavioral, what does the course, back to this. All thinking produces form at some level. Cognitive, thinking, behavior, form. Now, never mind that I've been studying the course since 1992. Never mind that. Never mind that. Never mind that I read that particular sentence from the course years ago. Know it by heart. So, all that meant is that I was being a hearer and not a doer of the word. Zulma, shut up already. What do you want to do differently? If I can see it differently, if I choose to see it differently, I can choose to feel differently. I can choose to respond differently. Granted, the course says we're not talking about changing your behavior. We're talking about changing your thoughts. But as a result of your thoughts changing, your behavior will change. Perfect example. When I thought that, when I thought that mommy should have been this and she should have acted this way and she should have acted that way, I acted this way, and I acted this way, and she was acting this way right along with me. When I began seeing mommy, when I started seeing her differently and started seeing her for who she actually was, for everything, all of it, to realize that her pain was her pain and what she was expressing was her pain, when I came to see it as pain and not that she was trying to hurt me, when I came to see it for what it actually was, and I stopped doing this, I started doing this. And at first, because of the habit, sometimes, and it would sometimes, but as a result, it started to, less and less and less and less, till mommy and I, we just danced together. My mother and I literally danced together in this living room, on this floor. Mommy and I literally danced together. It all changed. And I wasn't trying to change her. I wasn't trying to change her. I wasn't trying to change my behavior. But it was necessary. What did Dr. Collins say? If you recognize the role that you play, you will realize that there is nothing to forgive. I just dropped it. Oh my God, all that stuff, all that bondage that I had been carrying, all that pain that I had been carrying, all that misinformation that I had been carrying. Hi, Mickey, welcome back. I decided, just let it go. Let it go. How's it working for you? Are you still in pain? Are you still in pain? You sound like it. Come on, Zulma. Are you still in pain? Stop sounding like it. Stop talking about the pain. Stop focusing on the pain. Stop reflecting on the pain. Stop trying to make it sound like, oh yeah, you forgave your mother for ba-da, 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 ba-da. Well, that ba-da, 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 ba-da is me not forgiving. That's me recalling and remembering and renewing and reviewing. That's what that is. That's not forgiving. It's not. Notice even in my example, I didn't say what she did or didn't do. But when I saw her differently, I was able to recognize that she was in pain. And I couldn't hate that. I felt at first, I actually came to feel sympathy and then true empathy. And the love just grew and grew and grew. And the relationship that only mother, only child had always wanted became real. Oh, what a beautiful thing. Oh, what a beautiful thing. Complain about no thing, nothing at all. And from the course, without extension, there can be no love. Without extension, there can be no love. As long as I'm trying to hold back the course, only what you've given is what's missing. That's a paraphrase. You can find it. Only what you're not giving is what's missing. You're waiting on somebody out there to such and such, something out there to such and such. Well, I'll just wait here until. Oh, I'm not apologizing to them because but I'm hurting about it. I'm hurting about the distance that's being created as a result of me not choosing to go to them. It may not be that I need to apologize, but I'll at least make a phone call. I'm talking about Zulma. This is what I do. If it's bothering me that we're in an uncomfortable situation, that distance is being created, and it's bothering me. And even though I might know that you said or you did, even though I'm not above making that phone call, I have made that phone call, I still will make that phone call. Send a message. Just checking on you. I haven't heard from you. And sometimes that's all it's needed. Sometimes I've made a second call. It's useless. It's painful to hold on to stuff that's not even there anymore, and understand that people out there, so-called out there, are doing the same thing. And it's I'm here to shine a light first on myself, first of all, on myself. And I'm not trying to shine the light so that you can see blah, blah, blah. I'm shining the light so that I can see. If you see this because you happen to be looking, I'm not saying, look, I didn't pick up the phone and call, Sharon, Lynn, and Dove, and Gloria, and Mickey, and say, oh, listen, I'm going to be on this morning. You ought to come on and watch. You ought to come on and listen. I didn't do that. I don't do that. I can't do that. I can't do that. I can't. When I first started doing this, I used to put an invitation on the, I used to send an invitation to put on our practitioner thread. And I know for a fact that there's one who comes every week. And every now and then she blesses me, letting me know that. She's not in this room, but she'll bless me, letting me know that. And it means a great deal to me that she believes in me, that she believes in the spirit, that the spirit of me that we share, to be here and gain whatever she can, and then ultimately share whatever she can from it. To be, it's the oneness of it all. It's the oneness of it all. I'm grateful. I said this in the very beginning. It reminds me, I'm not alone. I can't be alone. I'm never alone. That everything works out for my good. I know today what workbook lesson 135:18. I know what that means. That what could I not accept? If I would knew that everything, every single thing that has ever occurred, past, present, things that are still yet to come, that they're all gently, it all is what it is. Let me say that. Workbook lesson. Let all things be exactly what they are. I think that's 268. Let all things be exactly as they are. What could I not accept? Because in choosing not to, I'm saying it shouldn't be this way. Oh, I can't believe it. What am I saying? I can't believe that God effed up that way. What? I can't believe that God let that happen. What? What? What are we talking about? I can't believe that I'm letting myself think that way. Today, look, like I said, I see it. Oh, that's God. Oh, that's God. And I mean, sometimes I have to take a deep breath. Sometimes I have to go into a somatic exercise, sit and rock a little bit, or close my eyes and or just stretch a little bit. I'm being taught all these wonderful somatic exercises in a racial healing study group that I belong to. It's just sometimes I have to do that to just kind of bring myself back. No, Zulma, this is not the truth. This is a moment in time, and it's already gone. It has already come to pass. So don't you hold on to it too, Zulma. Don't hold on to what's already gone. Can't change it. What's that passage? How except in fantasy can you change the past? I think that's I want to find that one. I want to find that one. That's one of my favorites. That's one of my favorites. How except in fantasy can you change the past? Except fortunately for me, I decided. And see, this is how this neurodivergent brain works. Years ago, when I had purchased the course on CD, I made a copy of it, put it in Word. I had to format everything because it was just word after word after word, no paragraphs, no nothing. I had to format it. It took me months and months. Workbook lessons, manual, headings, sections, months. But I've made a Word document out of it. And it's a good thing because I can't pull it up on the on the internet on my computer. And later on, I will put it on a flash drive and put it on my tablet. Because for a while, it looks like my tablet is going to have to serve as a computer. But anyway, it's in chapter 16. I knew that part. It's not too far from the end of the chapter. The end of chapter 16 is where the course's rendition of the Lord's Prayer is. But in chapter 16, section 7, in paragraph 2, sentence 6, it reads, how can you change the past except in fantasy? And who can give you what you think the past deprived you of? This is huge. Because when we're talking about all that past stuff, it's because we think something was missing. My person didn't do this, and my person didn't do that. And my mother was so sick when she had me physically that, and I was born just after midnight. From what she told me, she didn't even know I had been born, and it was almost 8 o'clock that evening. So for almost the first 20 hours of the day, this is according to mommy. I don't know. It didn't even have to happen this way. She could have held me right away and then passed out. Who knows? But she said that it was almost 8 o'clock that evening when she woke up screaming for the nurses to saying that she was ready to have the baby. And, and they told her, and she had already had the baby. And she says, she patted her, she patted her stomach and she says, mommy had an accent. I did. She says, oh, I did. This is the story that she told me. But I think about that. Did they let her go all? I don't know. I don't know. But there was a period of time when I used to think, oh, you didn't even care enough about me to take time to hold me when I was first born. Get out of here. That's so ridiculous. That's so ridiculous. How can you? And then I thought about that. It should have happened that way. That it should have happened that way. How can you change the past except in fantasy? And who can give you what you think the past deprived you of? The past is nothing. I repeat, the past is nothing. Do not seek to lay the blame for deprivation on it, for the past is gone. And here's my sentence. You cannot really not let go what has already gone, because it's already gone. You can't not let it go. You can't hold on to what is already gone, is what that's saying. You can't hold on to what's not there. See the grudge? What? Not there? I can't hold on to what's already gone. It continues. It must be, therefore, that you are maintaining the illusion that it has not gone because you think it serves some purpose that you want fulfilled. What? Do I want you to feel sorry for me because mommy, according to her story? Yes, Mickey, the past is over. I just saw part of that. Let me see. Let me get the rest of that. I'm on a tablet, so I have to. That's right. The past is over. Can touch me not. We just talked about that a little earlier. It's not there. I'm going back to the chat since I'm in it. Earlier on, Glorian had written that we are all wrestling our own demons. Yes. And then we find out that there are no demons because it's written. No, I'm talking about the Bible. No weapon formed against me shall prosper. And I say that there is no weapon formed against me. How can it be? If God is omnipresent, everywhere present, that means that God, if there's such a weapon, then it has to be God. Because it's all God. It's all God. It's all God. The course says God is all in all. God is all in all. Not over here somewhere, not over there. A sense of separation is the only problem. It's the only problem. And yes, whoever's supposed to be there, whoever is there is supposed to be there. Whoever's supposed to be in my life is there. I am totally uninvested on who shows up because Spirit is in charge. Thank you for that, Glorian. I am totally uninvested on who shows. Oh, you're talking about, oh, okay, you're talking about here, coming to the study group. Oh, I didn't even think about, I just realized what you were talking about. Okay. But that's anything. That's anything. That's any moment. That's any moment. I can take my computer to the Geek Squad and they could be closed on an emergency. I don't know what's supposed to happen happens. It does not. It's not the way I think it's supposed to be. It's the way life, the way God makes it. I'm not. My job is just to. I don't have to worry about what to say, what to do, because He who sent me will direct me. If I do take my computer to the Geek Squad and they're not there, then there's something there. There's some reason between leaving here and going there, or being there and coming back, whatever happens, that's supposed to be. It is what it's supposed to be. I can't make this stuff up. I didn't create myself. I'm so glad. I'm so glad. Oh yeah. The past is gone. It can't touch me. The past is over. It can touch me not. It must therefore be, going back, you cannot really let go. You cannot really not let go of what has already gone. It must be therefore that you are maintaining the illusion that it has not gone because you think it serves some purpose that you want fulfilled. And it must also be that this purpose could not be fulfilled in the present, but only in the past. Well, see, and that's what I remember sitting in Dr. Collins's office, telling him all this stuff, was happening, and that shouldn't have happened, and there was a part of me that thought, well, if I would get an apology, then I thought, no, that won't do it, because the apology wasn't going to take it back and make it go away. In other words, I was seeking something that wasn't there. I was making up what I thought. I had no idea as to what I thought was really going to make it better. And I realized with the help of Dr. Collins in the course that there was nothing back there that could make it better, because there was nothing back there. There was nothing there. The only thing that was going to make it better was me being willing to see it differently, me being willing to understand that I am spirit, me willing to understand, to recognize that I am free, me willing to know that the truth is what I am, the truth is what God is, the truth at that time was whoever was, the truth was right there. The truth is always right here and right now, and it's up to me. It's always up to me to decide. I always have a choice. I get to choose in every moment. Decisions, thank you, God, are continuous. I get to choose and decide in this moment. The Course says that the ego holds the past against you, against me. Talk about the past as if it's, talk about the past only if it's something that feels good. Remember, talk about everyone only in a positive light. Remember, and complain about nothing at all, because all your past except its beauty is gone and nothing is left but a blessing. You cannot perpetuate an illusion about another without perpetuating it about yourself. And without extension, there can be no love. Family, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you. I love you all. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. And Lynn, here's the mic.
Thank you so much, Zulma Gonzalez. Wonderful sharing. Even without your computer,